worldwide fans of the planet's hottest entertainment with an edge. I'm Jaime En Fuego, here to welcome y'all to my namesake program, Enfuegotainment. That's right, you can just call me Fuego for short, and I am so happy to have you here with me to discuss a Fresca Film Friday review here, and we are tackling none other than the latest entry into the MCU, another origin story for Captain Marvel. That's right, the final film that we get before Avengers Endgame, the sequel to Infinity War that blew everyone's minds. It was so crazy. And so unfortunately, I was not a fan of this film, and it's it's taboo and you're on thin ice if you are of my gender, and color probably too, to criticize this movie. But criticize I shall. But I always cover BUENO, MALO, and FEO here on Enfuegotainment, so I will try to be objective and just free-thinkingly open-minded here as possible. Problem is, though, when you've had such amazing origin stories like Black Panther, and even for me, Ant-Man and Doctor Strange and stuff, I don't know, and Wonder Woman, for God's sake. So this film did not succeed for me, but, I will start with the bueno, with the good, the fact that this has a mind-blowing cast, seriously, between Jude Law, between Annette Bening, Samuel L. Jackson is terrific in an expanded Nick Fury role. We've got some Coulson coming back, we've got Ronan coming back, Ben Mendelsohn as the Skrull dude, under tons of makeup, obviously, but so much star power, and that's not even mentioning our lead in Brie Larson, who unfortunately for me is the most disappointing thing as far as just the type of performance that she brought to this. I'm still not necessarily sold on the fact that she was the right casting for Captain Marvel, but genuinely, honest to God, everyone who was around her is fantabulous and terrific. I especially like seeing Jude Law and Annette Bening in roles that are a little bit different, at least for them, especially with some kind of twists of character and whatnot, and some tough love and things like that we get from them. They're both great in this, and I really appreciated the sort of perspective and slight bit of edge that we get from both of them. I thought they were great. Samuel L. Jackson, Sam and J, my dude, he's hilarious. He's better than ever, and you know what? The de-aging looks really good on him, and you can't really tell. It moves very seamlessly. Same with Coulson when we get him on screen. He's not really there anywhere near as often, Fury really being her mentor on Earth after discovering her when she crash lands after this. I don't know, it's a battle with the Skrull. It does not go down very well, and she's Kree Army and everything and whatnot. But, so, yeah, it's also a very visually striking film. This is Disney dollars that we're playing with here, y'all. So it's going to look utterly amazing, especially when Marvel's most powerful superhero goes through, her transformative stuff, and, she's glowing, and she's flying, and, she's got, the mohawk shizzle going down. She looks really badass. The entire intergalactic look of the film, the makeup work, obviously, on the Skrulls is great. It all looks very good. Great seeing Ronan back, as I mentioned, for a little bit too. Although I can't say he looks quite as good as he did in the first Guardians movie. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's because he's supposed to be younger or something. I don't know. But nonetheless, all the intergalactic space stuff is dope. It's a great looking film, okay? And most of the cast really bring an inspiring performance, but the malo for me is the fact that I didn't like Brie Larson very much, and I love Rome and so many of the other things that I've seen her in. I just don't necessarily know if she succeeds as well as I was hopeful for in a superhero role. But really for me, it's the writing more so than anything else in this that just feels forced. It feels like it's trying too hard, and especially trying too hard to replicate the 90s vibe. And I was born in the early 80s, I grew up in the 90s. I remember the 90s extremely well. It was my adolescence, it was my formative years, and this just did not, it just didn't feel like the 90s. It felt, I don't know, from the 9 Inch Nails shirt that she's going around wearing to the choice of some of the music. Boy, the choice of some of the music, and I'll get to that in the FEO because it was just so on the nose. I was just laughing almost at the way that they went for it. So, it's just, Wonder Woman is an exceptional movie that celebrates female empowerment and badassment and everything, and this just felt generic to me. It did. It did. I loved Wonder Woman. I mean, seriously, I cannot even fathom and explain. And I saw Wonder Woman with my girlfriend at the time, and you know, I got full-on female validation, you know, about that. And the other thing is when you've seen something as rad status as Alita Battle Angel earlier this year, and with, you know, just an awesome Latina in the role, no less, it set the benchmark so high for that sort of badassness that I mean, it's a lot for Captain Marvel to live up to, because Alita was incredible, and yeah, this just pales in comparison quality-wise, unfortunately. If you haven't seen Alita Battle Angel, please do, in a theater, the best theater you can find, the biggest screen possible, I mean, the best sound system. I mean, Cecil and I saw it with the rumbling in the chairs and everything when the big robots were stomping, and yeah, Robert Rodriguez and James Cameron, once again, they set the quality level so high with that yeah, Captain Marvel, it was a tough act to follow. I don't know, I mean, the fights and everything with Brie are badass. And it's really just the more tender moments, and more so than anything, the more humorous moments that I just don't really think work as well. She just doesn't have a dynamic, powerful presence on screen that I've seen her in more just full-on dramatic work. And once again, I mean, I don't want to just beat this film to smithereens, because I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy it, but once again, being another origin story, I mean, we've had so many really, really good ones here in the MCU. This one just felt lackluster. It felt lacking to me, and it was like more like Captain Meh-vel, as opposed to Marvel. You can get into the full-on explanation of that in the film and the distinctions and the differences and whatnot there. But yeah, if I'm gonna, because I don't want to just slog away at this movie, I will briefly segue into the Feo. And the Feo for me was really just doubling down on, well, first and foremost, the fact that I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for criticizing this movie, because there's those who are being critical of this film, and man, there's the people who are critical of the critics of this film, I guess, and I'm sure a lot of reviewers are going to mention that, because it's true. I still haven't watched any, because I always try to formulate my own opinion, but I know the buzz going into this, and you know, all the fake Rotten Tomatoes stuff, that there's just been a lot of ugliness surrounding this movie, and apparently it's, you know, those who, like me, were not as impressed with this film, or the idiots who were jumping on and criticizing it before having even seen it, which is ugly as fuck and stupid. And that's why Rotten Tomatoes is disabling comments on movies before they're released to the general public now, which honestly, I'm surprised it took them so long to actually get to that, because that aids and abates trolling, like, completely and obviously. But yeah, this movie, once more people are able to see it, I personally think is going to have harder trolling and hating and whatnot, and I feel like the people who embrace this are going to embrace it even more so, because of the fact that they love the character so much, and maybe that's because that is going to in turn cloud judgment of just not really being as critical of this movie as I think you fairly should be, because it's not a bad movie, and it's definitely not well, actually, it is borderline kind of bad in my opinion. It's just boring, you know. I was never like super enthralled with really much of anything at any time. Even the post-credits is just kind of like, whatever, you know, very forgettable, and there's not really much to it. Yeah, and music choices. The music choices were so on the 90s nose, it just really, it bugged me. It bugged me. There's one fight near the very end of the film where they start playing just Girl. Oh, I'm just a girl. No Doubt. I love No Doubt. Tragic Kingdom, Return to Saturn, I mean, and even their earlier, more ska stuff, terrific. I didn't like, you know, when they started going more, you know, electro, the baby, all that whatever stuff, you know. It was really after Gwenny started, you know, doing her solo stuff, and then that sound seeped into the No Doubt sound, and they stopped being like a freewheeling ska punk, you know, fun band of sorts, and they really just wanted to be a pop band at that point. But I love the Just a Girl song. I'm not a girl. I love Just a Girl, but it was just, once again, so on the nose, so just deliberate, so forced. You're just like, really, you're gonna play this song because it's in the 90s and she's just a girl? And I was like, man, this is just, once again, forced. Trying too hard, and all too often when you try too hard, you don't accomplish anything near as well as if you had just more naturally, let it flow, and like the choices of like Nirvana and stuff like that. And then in the post-credit, like the end credits, not a post-credit scene, but in the film's end credits, you know, when they're going through, you know, writers and directors and all that stuff. And obviously it's going to be a badass looking montage of all kinds of stuff, but they start playing Hole, you know, the Celebrity Skin song, "Oh, make me over." Great song. I'm not a big Courtney Love fan, but it's a great song. It was a huge hit. A huge hit in 1998. And yeah, this was not supposed to be a late 90s, I don't know. This movie is all over the place, and it just, you know, it didn't feel authentically 90s to me, even though that's what they were going for. They just don't succeed. And so I'm gonna give this 2 Fuego Fireballs out of 5. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's MALO. Yeah, so it's not Feo, it's not 1 star or anything. It's an MCU movie. I mean, I'm sure a lot more people will find merits here and there for me, but I was unimpressed. It was not marvelous. It did not live up to the namesake name, and it was really Brie's performance and just the boredom of writing and some very obvious plot twists that you see coming a mile away. I don't know, man. Especially, and maybe it's the fact that Black Panther was so good last year for an origin story, and that's still so fresh in my mind. And maybe it's the fact that this is wedged, you know, between two, well, I mean, I guess we had a lackluster Ant-Man movie. The original Ant-Man is one of my top 3 Marvel movies ever. Ant-Man, Guardians, and the first Guardians, and Doctor Strange are probably my 3 favorites, you know, but I don't know, the fact that it's the calm before the proverbial storm, maybe that was another reason why it's tough to get stoked up about an uninspired origin story. It's just, you know, it is what it is. On the way towards Endgame, and yeah, that's coming out in just a few weeks, so we don't have long to wait to see Captain Marvel. We all know it's not a spoiler to say Captain Marvel is in this. If you've already seen Infinity War, you know that, yeah, that's who they're calling for at the very end, you know, when Fury is, you know, when all the people are starting to disappear without specifying who and whatnot. So, you know, she's showing up in the scene, you know, she's going to play a pivotal part in actually going after Thanos. And I'm pumped for Endgame, you know. Yeah, but this did not leave me very impressed, unfortunately. So yeah, maybe Brie Larson will be better in a larger ensemble. But then again, she had quite an ensemble to work with here, and it didn't work. I felt like everybody outshined her. So maybe with more high caliber, you know, heroes alongside her, the interplay can be more interesting. Maybe with different writers, better directors, I don't know. Better story to tell, you know, that's not so by the numbers unpredictable, things could be better. But as a whole, this gets only 2, it'd probably be more like 2.5 out of 5. You know, Fuego Fireballs, but you know, I don't do the half marks here on Enfuegotainment. So yeah, this gets a 2. This is MALO for me. Sorry gals and guys and everybody who was rooting for this one to be really good, at least for me. I did not think that it was. So apologies there if you disagree, but that's the fun thing about film. It is open for debate, interpretation. If you completely disagree with me about this, you feel like Captain Marvel kicked ass, Brie Larson was way better than I'm giving her credit for, please let me know in the comments below, but do it not in the Rotten Tomatoes trollingly, nastily, unconstructive, you know, reasoning. Just, you know, let me know as articulate as possible how you felt about this film, if you think that I am dead wrong, or if you think that I'm actually onto something and my critiques here, you know, were actually a little bit more on point than some people want to admit. So I've been Jaime En Fuego. You can find me on all social media sectors like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Obviously, you're here on my YouTube channel. I'm doing some anniversary Star Wars coverage, 1 film every month leading up to the episode 9 release in December. That's right. So as of now, I have, it's on the 24th of every month that these are going up. May the Force be with you, the 24th, just to be specific, but I have my episode 1 and my Attack of the Clones episode 2 up already. I'm going to be actually doing some bonus little content because I'm doing everything in the chronological, like, timeline order. So the next one that I have coming up is actually the Clone Wars animated movie that was released theatrically. So that is going to be the release here in March, but I'm also going to be doing excuse me, I'm going to be doing a bonus bit of coverage about the Samurai Jack Volume 1 and 2 animated Clone Wars series from the same guy who did Samurai Jack. That was on Cartoon Network. So that's going to be something up here probably in the next week. that is going to be leading in to the full CGI Clone Wars movie that they did. Then I'm going to be doing some coverage in April of the Clone Wars TV series. There's 5 seasons, and then there's also the Lost Missions, so I'm going to be cruising through those before I get to, that's right, Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3, and then as the months roll on, I will be even doing like the Ewok movies, and I'm going to be doing the, spin-offs and whatnot, so you'll see Solo and Rogue One, and then the episodes proper, 4, 5, and 6 obviously, and then going into Force Awakens, which I really like, and the is for The Last Jedi. But we will get to that later on. I also did reviews of all 8 of the Best Picture contenders for the Oscars this past year, and I've been doing just, new fresh film reviews every week, like the one that you're seeing here. But if you want mucho más from Señor Fuego, that is me here. There's always the Horror Show channel at youtube.com/the Horror Show channel, where we do a couple episodes a day. That's going to be as we start our 6th season. They're going up or coming down. We still haven't completely determined that yet, and all the weirdo algorithms of the YouTubies, but that's where we do horror film reviews and trailer reactions and convention coverage. Just got back from Charlotte Mad Monster, our first time going out there to be their official press and video team, filming all the panels and stuff. Bruce Campbell, I mean, damn, he did a game show called Last Fan Standing and a regular panel. I got to interview Adrienne Barbeau, Cecil talked to Miko Hughes. I mean, it was a terrific time, and we were so very humbled and honored to be a part of that process. But yeah, if you want spectacular coverage from yours truly, then jump over to the Horror Show. Obviously, do the like, share, and subscribe thing here. And if you make your way over to the Horror Show YouTube and ring the bell so that you get notifications anytime there's new content coming up from either me rolling solo here or from over there on the Horror Show channel. So once again, I have been Jaime En Fuego. I extend a grande gracias to all of you. Say thank you. And until the film reel of comes around once more, hasta luego, cinemigos. But I hope that we get to reconnect sooner rather than later. And until then, peace out.